Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Retro Reminisce. My name is Killjoy and I'm joined by one man today, Mr. Mark Kitchen. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Slightly stressed, but we'll get to why in a minute when we talk to the game. Retro Reminisce, for those who don't know, is a show where we basically play a game, talk about when we first played it, what we like, what we don't like, and does it still hold up from its when we originally played it. And today we're going to be talking about the start of a series. We're going to be talking about Super Mario Kart on the SNES.
Way back from 1992.
Yeah, I can't believe how old this game is.
25 years.
So let's just kick things off then. So, Mr. Mark, when's your first sort of memories of this game?
Earliest memories of this game are I played this round a friend's house probably when I was like 6 or 7 years old. I used to go around his house after school. And I think the level I stuck out the most was the beach one.
Yeah, everyone knows the beach level. Yeah,
just kind of jumping over water just sticks in my brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember like going around his house and really young memories of like taking a change of clothes with you to school and then going around just being like a really young kid and just being like on a tiny TV in someone's bedroom kind of thing. But didn't actually play it that much when I was a kid. Those are my only memories of it, playing around his a couple of times.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere else. And then I played it a lot more at uni, and then also at my old house in Bristol as well, in Montpellier.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We played it a lot.
I remember them having that.
Didn't actually play it a huge amount when I was a kid, just a bit around one friend's house, and then a lot more. Yeah, when I was older.
Yeah.
But I do remember like a bit of nostalgia for it.
Yeah, sure.
But I played, obviously. You know that I played a lot more Mario Kart 64 and I got way more nostalgia for that. But yeah, this is still like a part of my childhood, just a much smaller part than
some other games. Yeah.
What about you?
My best mate gave me a SNES. We didn't have many games to start with. We just had Super Mario World. And then I think our neighbours ended up getting like PlayStations and whatnot. They gave a lot of us their games, and I think Super Mario Kart is how we got it. We were given a load of games. Yeah, me and my brother used to play a lot of it. I mean, we played Battle Mode, I think, mainly because, you know, let's be honest, this game's hard. And as kids, like we had a lot of fun with it. I think we mainly played Battle Mode. I remember just playing with my brother a lot and just having a good blast with it. I mean, I used to get quite frustrated when I was a kid in terms of losing a lot. I didn't like losing. I was a bad loser. But yeah, I remember playing this game a lot, along with pretty much my brother was there. We had a lot of two-player games. So yeah, that's kind of my memories of it, was just playing with him and a few friends that would come around and play it, and yeah, doing the races, but yeah, mainly focusing on the battle mode. And I've played it, you know, so every couple of years since then, really, like just enjoying it and digging it out. And just I've got it on my Wii, so I remember re-downloading that when it came out. Just a good game to have, just to bash out for a few games anyway. But
so did you play it in the 90s? Like,
if I did, it would have been like 99.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've probably played it more likely in the 2000s rather than.
Yeah.
But I do remember playing it. I mean, I remember seeing it more than playing it during that 90s period. Early 2000s, maybe late 90s when I definitely played it. And then on, of course, after that.
Yeah, it was definitely a huge hit. Like just making Mario into a racing game. It was like, wow.
Yeah, that kind of like there's every big gaming character's been in like a racing game, like Pac-Man and Sonic, and you know, even Mega Man's been in his own racing game. You look at the kart genre has kind of evolved over the years. You've got like an M&M's racing game, there's like a Crazy Frog racing game. You know, like all these kart games that exist. Crash Bandicoot is probably the biggest example of that. Like, you know, team racing was big. Let's talk about things you like about this game then. So, what do you personally like about this game?
Thinking of it as like at the time when it came out, just thinking of it as a concept, taking like these Mario characters like Mario, Bowser, Donkey Kong, just like throwing them into like a racing game. It's like it doesn't seem like much now because everyone knows Mario Kart. It's one of the biggest franchises.
Yeah, exactly.
But back then it was like, well, this is cool. Like we've got all these Mario characters in a racing game.
Yeah, it's quite novel, isn't it?
Yeah. So like conceptually, I think that's really cool, and obviously spawned like a massive franchise. So obviously worked really well.
Yeah.
I really like I do really like the driving mechanics, like how if you skid around corners, you gain speed and you can hear your engine revving up. And so you want to keep it on that kind of thing, and then if you do like bump into a wall or you hit another character, you lose that revvage and you're like, you
lose a lot of momentum.
So yeah, I do think it's like it's really good for that. Like, it does use the sliding, like the skidding and stuff, really well in terms of building up speed, but also just I find like the cornering really intuitive. Took me a while to get used to it. I was quite crap at this game for a while, and now I think I'm all right at it. And some of the levels I can like ace like quite nicely, unless I get dicked over, which we will move on to later.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they kind of lost that in some of the later games. Like obviously you've still, like the later games, you've still got drifting and stuff, but it was kind of like,
it's actually skillful in this game. You have to be good at it.
Yeah, like drifting is really easy in the later games. It doesn't, all you do is press a button, whereas on this you really have to have more judgment of like the corners, and judgment of if I skid, am I going to be in the sand and then be worse off kind of thing. Like it takes a bit more to judge the corners more than you do in the later games, which kind of do the hard work for you in some ways. On the easier levels anyway, or the easier games. So that's why I really like some of the driving mechanic does take a lot of skill, and you would have thought that generally games improve their mechanics as they go along. They start off simple and then get a bit more complex, but I feel like with Mario Kart it's kind of the other way around. Like they've kind of lost some of that in a way, so I wanted to make a point about that. I really like the music. Like some of the music in this game is really memorable to me. I mean, you don't need to play this game many times until you get some of those tunes stuck in your head. Even some of the title stuff, when you win and it goes on to the at the end of the game, and then each character's got a different like winning music thing, and then it gets stuck in your head.
I mean,
I know Mario's is kind of just the Mario thing,
I was going to say, like, Mario's circuit is like the one, isn't it? Because it's the first level you race on. It's like great, I love it. But yeah, I absolutely agree on that point that the music in this game is phenomenal. Like it works so well. Like each level that's like based on something different. Like if you take Bowser's Castle, that really like like sounds like you're in a castle. And, like the Ghost House music is basically ripped straight out of Super Mario World. And it just fits beautifully with the level design.
And the Mario circuit ones are like nice and kind of,
they're like a standard kart track, aren't they? That's kind of the point.
Kind of racing music. And the Bowser ones are a bit more kind of
like really aggressive sounding
demonic
music. Demonic's a good way of describing it.
I really wanted to make a point about the music because I think it's really good. I think the levels are good, like the tracks. There's a good mix between like the Mario circuits and the beach levels with like the water and the fish and like the deep ponds and the little lily pads and things. And then the Bowser levels are quite cool with even though the thwomps get really bloody annoying. And then you've got Rainbow Road, which is like
iconic,
classic
isn't it?
as well.
So good.
Just looks like a 2D Rubik's Cube, just like squares of colours.
Got epilepsy, don't play that.
I really like that level. I think there's a good broad range of. I know they're far more broad now, but I think back then,
it was a good
early 90s like racing games. Like I think this is more developed than a lot of the other racing games that were coming out then. I don't think there were that many racing games back then.
It probably was, but it was, they probably weren't like Mario Kart definitely had a lot of variety.
Yeah, he didn't have like Gran Turismo or like
PlayStation,
any of those games just yet. This came in way before that. Coming in like with the tracks as well, like the shortcuts and things. Like, that's quite innovative to implement like shortcuts on like a fairly early, game where you get the leaf and you can like bounce over on the ghost levels. Oh, that's another level, the complete like level that I forgot to mention. The ghost levels.
Ghost house levels.
Ghost house levels.
Ghost Valley.
And the shortcuts on the Mario circuits as well, where you can boost through
between the like gaps and stuff.
So levels are great. The items are pretty cool.
There's a good selection as well, I think.
It's the first time. I mean, obviously they've expanded a lot, but they've still had like a decent mix. You have the Starman, the banana, the green and red shells, and like lightning. And Ghost as well.
It used to be the best lightning in the game.
Before
this blue shell nonsense.
And the lightning was like you rarely get it in this game. So it's like
when you get it, like
ultra special when you get it. It kind of got a bit rinsed in the later games. But so I think that covers like quite a bit. I'll let you talk now.
You want me to talk about some stuff?
Some things?
Alright, hang on then. Oh my god!
What
I
do you
mean,
enjoy about this game?
I mean, we've already touched on the music. I'm just going to bring it up again. It is hella good. Like, it's just really enjoyable. What you expect from a Nintendo game is, like, when you get a game like this that is a Mario game, you're going to get that bubbly, chirpy music, and it will just get stuck in your head. There's a couple of duds in there, but generally speaking, all the music's really good.
Yeah.
Choco Island's kind of like, Sherbet Land's a bit, or wherever it is, the Sherbet, I think it's Sherbet Land, this one. All the rest of it, good. Rainbow Road, beautiful. Let's talk about the graphics, the actual look of this game. I love I think it's Mode 7 was at the time was what they were using for this, and like F-Zero and other games. But I love just the art style. It's really clean.
Yeah.
For the most part, there are a couple of tracks that's quite hard to see what you're doing, but generally the actual game is very clean. Everything's very obvious. Everything pops in nicely. You can usually see where you're going. All the characters are defined, whether they're off ahead or when you're up close to them.
Yeah.
I think the game still looks fairly good, even today. Standard looks really good. So
I like it, and it's really colourful as well. I kind of just forgot to mention like graphics. Really.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's just lots of bright colours. Obviously, Ghost Valley, maybe not so much, but that's kind of the point. It's maybe a dark area, but everything else is, you know, you can always basically see what you're doing. Like I said, there's a couple of tracks that are a bit harder, but other than that, like it's a good-looking game. Let's talk about two of the modes that really are massively probably the best things about this game. Battle mode is the first one. Battle mode in this game, I absolutely love. I don't think a single Mario Kart has come close in terms of the battle mode in this. Now I know it's only 1v1, but the tracks, the ice level's pretty good, but the other three tracks I love. The beach level and Battle Course 4 are phenomenal, and I love it, and I love the whole idea that you're just twatting each other to get rid of these balloons. And
that's interesting, because I'm not that fussed about battle mode on this level,
really
on this game.
Oh my god!
I think all the levels are like the same, basically.
They're all a square. So, well, the beach one's a bit different, but
and I played like loads of Mario Kart 64, and I love like the block
forces,
level and the donut level, and like there are more items and stuff.
Yeah.
And I played it to death, and I actually loved it.
I think because I played this a lot with my brother, like we played loads of this. I'm talking. We'd sit there for about 2 hours straight just playing battle mode and nothing
Nostalgia,
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they kind of ruined battle mode in most modern Mario Karts now, because the nice thing about this one was you had the free balloons. You lost all your balloons, you're out. That's it. Now when you play battle mode, you lose your balloons, you get spawned back in with more balloons, but you just don't have the points. And it's not, that kind of misses the point for me.
Yeah.
Like Mario Kart 8 did it, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe does it, 7, DS did it, where it's like you have that battle mode, but losing balloons is not the end of the game. And I kind of feel like it should be like Last Man Standing. Now I know that they've changed it up because there's way more races now and you can play more players, but that whole 1v1 thing, I love that. Like, you know, I love the battle mode on this. I think it's great. And the other thing I was going to say was multiplayer Grand Prix mode is the other solid mode in this, because there aren't many games that let you do that kind of Grand Prix thing 2-player. I don't know at the time what other racing games are out that let you do that, and that's only because I don't know. I'm sure other games did, but I do like the fact that you can do the Grand Prix mode 2-player. I think that's great. I like the idea that you can either help or hinder each other, and you know, you're either trying to get on the podium each, or if you're trying to unlock the special cup, you know, you kind of want to help each other out and stuff. So
yeah, it's surprising that they had the kind of tech to do like 2-player Grand Prix
and still run at 60. I think it runs at 60 frames.
What I mean, yeah, like to be able to run it, because Mario Kart 64, like they only had 2-player GP. You couldn't do 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Assuming because they couldn't.
Probably ran like ass if they did it.
Yeah. So it's good that they managed to make it work,
which is unlike now,
so early.
Because now on Mario Kart 8 you can definitely do 4-player.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like
later tech.
games,
Like, I know it runs at 30 frames rather than 60 like it does in a single player, but it is interesting. I didn't know that.
Nowadays you can play 12-player online.
yeah. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
There's probably other little things I like time attack mode, time trial mode. I think that's pretty cool. But those are the main things I like about the game. I was going to say, controls. I should probably mention the controls in this game actually feel really nice. They're weird, because this is. I kind of feel like the controls are both a plus and a minus for this game, because once you get the hang of them, they feel good.
Yeah.
But when we picked it up tonight and I played it in a little while, like, my god, is this game slippy. Like, you feel like you're sliding around a lot.
Yeah.
And I know you and me play different. You know, this is the only Mario Kart game I use the brake to get around corners, because you can just like round a corner real easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hopping and the sliding really need to practice with those, because they are not, like I said, they are quite hard. They are technical. and you have to learn that. It's not like you can just break out halfway through one and then turn back on it. So it's like you commit to that, you probably you either commit or you don't.
It's definitely the Mario Kart game that takes the longest to get used to the controls, but I do really like them.
I appreciate that.
It's really rewarding once you've got used to it.
Yeah,
because you feel like you've learnt something, like you've got some skill there. It comes into what I was saying about it's the same thing really, what I was saying about the driving mechanics. Yeah.
It's definitely interesting because even the hop has, you can do some cool things with the hop. Like later Mario Kart games, the actual ability to hop is kind of a bit pointless. Like it does have its uses, but in this, if you've got a mushroom, you can do boost hops and all sorts of stuff. Same with the feather, you can do stuff with that. But like the actual hopping, it can't be used to jump over smaller obstacles, which is really cool. Things like that, I really like that. And like I said, it's one of those. It's sort of in the neutral area where it's like the controls are good, but they're also frustrating to learn if you haven't played this game over a very long time or a while, because you do literally slide everywhere until you get the grips of it and you're like, okay, it's not so bad.
And if you're playing the chocolate levels,
you
just end up on the gravel for ages and you're like,
pardon the pun there.
You're like, oh, this isn't enjoyable unless you played the level before. But if you haven't, then it's just fuck. Yeah, this is hard.
You do slow down a lot when you hit any obstacle or when you go off the off the track. Sorry, and it's like.
And Rainbow Road is really difficult as well.
Oh man, that's something else. I didn't report this down, but Rainbow Road is by far to this day and age, it's my favourite Mario Kart track. The original Rainbow Road is better than the 64 one. It's better than the GameCube one. It's better than every other Rainbow Road that exists. Purely on the basis, one, it's got the best music. All the other Rainbow Road music sucks, except for the first one.
I love the Mario Kart 64 music.
Fuck that level. That goes on for 10 minutes. And it also has Invincible Thwomps, and it's also one of the just hardest levels ever made in a Mario Kart, and I love it. So that's it for me on my likes of the game. So should we move on to dislikes? Do you want to take this off, or shall I go?
I'll go. I've only got a couple. Anyway.
I've got quite a few.
But, maybe you'll mention some.
Sure.
But I get really pissed off with the AI abilities.
Oh my god, the AI is so broken in this.
When you just get they just get a Starman out of nowhere when you're right behind them, and then you drive into them and you spin around and you're like, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Or they throw a mushroom right in front of you and you go small, and you're just through no fault of my own, I've gone from first to 7th or something. And it just seems a bit broken. I kind of like the idea of it. I can see what they were trying to do. It gets fucking annoying. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It really takes away from. It makes you feel good. I guess it does make you feel good if you are way out in front, because then you feel like no one's gonna be able to fuck with you basically.
Yeah.
Because you rarely get lightning, and no one can get you with their shells or anything.
Yeah.
But if you're in the middle of the pack, it's just fucking hell, this is annoying. Bumping around everywhere and just getting hit by a Starman and a mushroom and whatever. It's just a ball ache.
Yeah, I mean,
annoying.
I think the other biggest problem with the AI is the AI cheats. So, for example, if you put banana peel down, they just hop over it, and you can't even hop that high.
Yeah.
You physically can't hop that high, and the AI just goes boing, and you're just like, why is this a thing? Why?
Yeah.
What? The only way you can hit the AI is if they're right behind you and they've got no time to hit it, or you have a shell or something that's moving. But I've seen them multiple times. They just jump over a banana, and you think, what's the point? Why is that coded into the game?
Yeah.
The reason why I don't like their item-specific things, this is why I picked Mario and Luigi, is to get rid of one of them, because like you said, the Starman thing is bullshit. But the reason why I don't like it is because the games are already fast and hard enough to control. All you're doing is chucking obstacles, and if they chuck an obstacle like a shrinking mushroom or a banana peel down, on the wrong track, you're going off the track, you're going in the water, you're going off the edge of the thing, and it's just rubbish.
Yeah.
The game should be skillful, which it is, and then you're dealing with another layer of bullshit on top, and it's completely random as to when they fire it. Usually, it's whoever's in second place is the one doing it. But if you've got Toad or Princess Peach behind you and they're firing out those shrinking mushrooms, it's really hard to deal with. And then if you've got Bowser chucking out the fireball, or it does suck. And I think it really, really ruins what is. The game's hard, and if you play it, you're trying to learn the tracks and stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things that Mario Kart's always been a bit random, but this is almost just push that limit. It's like, this is worse than, like, you know, getting hit by a blue shell, red shell, blue shell kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, at least that is an item, because the AI in this game doesn't pick up item boxes. They just have their own special item, don't they? So yeah, I hate it. It frustrates the hell out of me.
See what they tried to do because they don't have their own items, but it seems like so much better than like them having to get items. Like, what they can do is just so much better than randomly, you know, be able to get a item every lap on the boxes. They can just use
whenever
their special all the time and just dick you over completely.
It's just annoying when you, like, for me, like, Mario and Luigi are the biggest offenders. Like, I know, like, to deal with the toad, like, you know, with the mushrooms, the bananas, the fireballs, all that sort of stuff, the shells with Scuba Trooper. Yeah, it's frustrating. Mario and Luigi are a bitch because they can spawn on invincibility at any point, but they're usually either right behind you and about to overtake you, and then they hit you, or they're just in front of you, and then, like, where you're like, well, what do I do here? Do I go off trying to get around them? And it just becomes ridiculous at that point.
Yeah, I don't like how, well, this is kind of technical limitation, but I don't like how shit the red shells are. That's annoying.
Well, they're interesting.
They just sort of do their own thing, and you're like, I mean, I can't rely on those.
The way that they work in this game, they don't follow the track. So whoever's in front of you, that's how it pinpoints, but it tries to go the shortest route. So if you're coming around a corner and there's a guy here, it'll try to go the shortest route, and that's why like fly off into a bit of wall or whatever, because it doesn't go follow the track and hit. It goes, oh, they're there on the map, and just tries to go through it. And I agree that they are in this game, they're actually avoidable to some degree, which is quite nice, but they are also, it's frustrating when you try to hit someone and they just kind of go in a straight line and there's like a pipe there or something. You're like, just go around the bloody pipe. But also, like, when you do hit someone with them, like you do with me, I went fucking flying. You just go miles. Like, so I can understand that. Yeah, they're definitely, they're not the same like in the newer game.
I don't know what else really. I guess it does get a bit annoying. Some of the levels have really narrow tracks, and if you've got like a few people in front of you and you're trying to overtake, and you've got loads of momentum, like you're going really fast, you feel like the momentum you've gained is not worth it because you're gonna drive into someone, or someone's gonna do something to you. Like, you can't just get that straight line of just being like just gonna fly past loads of people, because a lot of the tracks are quite narrow, and if people are bunched together, you just know you're just gonna bounce off everyone. So you don't get that satisfaction of just being able to like spin past loads of people like you do on the later games. But, you know, maybe that's also a good thing. Maybe you do need a bit of like bashing about. Because on some of the later games, if you play multiplayer, you might not see each other a whole race.
Someone gets out front,
because the laps are so much longer, and they might be so much further ahead of you. Like, I was playing, even when me, you, and Katrina were playing Mario Kart 8 last week, I was like, I'd see you guys a bit, but I wouldn't really see you guys much.
Yeah, because it's 12 races, isn't it? So.
Yeah, so in some ways, like, coming across people more often in this game is a good thing.
I've got a few things we can talk about. I'm kind of the opposite to you. I think the track design in this game is shit.
Oh, really?
I think the track, like, let's talk about Donut Plains 3, because this is one of the worst. Like, in Mario Kart 8, this level is really well redesigned. Donut Plains 3, for those who don't know, basically the way the track is you have two bridges and bits of water. The first bridge is a bit broken, but it's fairly easy to get across. The second bridge has a bit where the actual track is missing. You have to hop over it. If you get knocked into the water, you're basically out of this race. Like, you can come back, but this track is just dreadful, and I hate it.
Oh, the Star Cup one. Oh,
the Special Cup one. The Special Cup one, the one that we were on. And, like, it's... Right, the reason why I find this level frustrating, and this marries with two other things. Hitboxes on a lot of the stuff on these tracks, and also the obstacles on this track. So certain tracks like Mario Circuit, fairly wide, fairly easy, and even on the narrows, the track's really obvious where you're going. Other tracks like Sherbetland, whatever it's called, the ice one, I think it's Sherbetland, you've got pipes, water, icicle things that you can hit, the edge of things, and it's really easy sometimes to just smack into things that you shouldn't have hit, or you feel like you should have got around. And as what happened at one point, I kind of rage quit accidentally. We'll get onto why that's shit as well,
caused me to
lose the race because I got stuck and I couldn't do anything about it. And I think the track design, like, there are good tracks here, not all of them are, but there's a lot of tracks in this game that are just really bad. And Donut Plains is a good example because there's a lot of narrows, and when you've got a lot of narrows and then you've got tight, wide corners, moles and grass, it's really fucking difficult to not hit
Frustrating,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, and then someone puts a banana down, and it's like, ugh.
There's too much avoiding. Like, there's not enough.
Yeah, I want to be able to race through it and, like, you know, be good at it, and I understand you need the obstacles there, but my god, are they difficult to, like, you're gonna hit something. I went off the track all the time on every level, and it's frustrating. Ghost Valley is a good example of this, where sometimes with Ghost Valley, like, you either hit one of the corners and then you fall off or something because you take away the bits, and sometimes in that you can get screwed over. It's not your fault, it's just the way that someone else has hit something. I find that the obstacles and obviously hitting other people, like there's a bit where Mario got hit and I kept hitting him, and instead of knocking him out of the way, I just didn't go anywhere, and I was just like, this is what's going on here, you should move out of the way or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of too many things that you hit and lose momentum. It's too easy to lose momentum in this game. Now I know it rewards you for staying on the track and getting around the corners and stuff. But like Bowser's Castle is brilliant for this. It's that track. Sometimes it's quite hard to see the edge. You know where it is roughly, but man, you hit a corner on that and you just lose all your momentum and you're just like, fuck. Like,
spent ages like gaining it up.
And then you just hit something, and then like some of those tracks are so windy. You're like trying to weave in and out, and it's like.
In a way, though, it makes you really like try your best to know the track inside out, so that you don't hit any corners and just like do a perfect run.
Yeah.
But then you can't really do that if you're a multiplayer, I suppose.
No, it's just
you're going to get hit by something.
I touched on it a minute ago. Like the give up in 2-player mode. This is ridiculous. Like I didn't know this was going to happen. So if I got stuck and I'm like, oh fuck this, I want to race quit. If I hit give up, it also quits out the other player, and I was like, oh, now I feel like a dickhead because obviously you were doing really well. You were 4th, I think, in that race.
On like a really hard track.
Yeah.
On the Special Cup.
And I got stuck basically because there's no way I was going to be able to get back in the race. And and it's a minor gripe, but you would think, like, I shouldn't be able to take your lives off you. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, it's minor thing. Single player GP mode, just don't play it. Just don't play it. Like, I honestly think if you're going to play this game, you need to play multiplayer GP mode or battle mode. Or time trial. I think playing single player, like unless you're playing on 50cc, which is probably going to be the most balanced version of this game, because we were playing 100cc, and even that was like hard. And I know the game's hard, but like man, like the AI, because they just basically follow the same thing on every track. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. And lastly, the other thing is the character selection screen. The characters you choose in this game have different statistics, and they're in the manual, which I don't have. But man, are some of these broken. Like if you pick Toad and Koopa Troopa, I think they have like really good top speed, really good acceleration. The only downside is their weight, so they get knocked around really easily. But you literally pick any other character, and if someone else has picked Toad or Koopa Troopa, you can still win. But my god, is it difficult? Because you were playing Toad, and I was playing Mario and Luigi, and Mario and Luigi are just sort of like 3 stars across the board. I think it's like out of 4.
Yeah, they're kind of like middle of the road.
Yeah,
aren't they?
and like, you know, I picked them because I didn't want one of them to have a Starman against AI, and yeah, like someone's trying to catch up was not impossible. And I know obviously it varies when you've got coins as well, but really difficult. Even if you're racing at your best, it's really difficult. I know, like if you pick Yoshi and Peach, really good top speed. Really good acceleration, but not the best top speed. Yeah. And if you're playing a one-on-one race, whoever's picked Yoshi and someone's picked Toad, the person who's picked Toad, if they're just going around the track and don't hit anything, they're going to win every time. And
that's why I picked Toad, because I can just bolt it around.
Yeah, I mean, I could pick Bowser and DK because they have the highest top speed, so they're actually the fastest characters in the game. But they have no acceleration, so as soon as you hit something, you're like, come on then, let's go.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to play a heavy character that has literally nothing like that. So, I mean, those are my major gripes of the game. Like that's why I said at the beginning of this, I was feeling quite stressed, and this game is quite stressful. Like, it shouldn't be. Like, I know Mario Kart is quite a frustration simulator for some people. You know, the game is a bit random and stuff, but there's a lot in this game that, you know, I think they've tweaked over the years in other Mario Kart games. You know, I play Mario Kart 8 or the Wii one or the DS, 3DS, and even that feels a lot fairer, you know, in a lot of ways. You know, I'm battling the stage, I'm not battling bullshit. Like, I'm battling bullshit that's kind of like refined, not just like a layer on top of the game.
I still really enjoy this game though, and I think I have played it more as an adult than I did as a kid.
Yeah.
I know it's not as advanced as some of the later games.
I
like the simplicity of it. I think it's a really good game.
I think it's enjoyable. So, actually, before we move on to the last bit, have you got a favourite track? Because obviously mine was Rainbow Road. I just wanted there's a specific one.
I like the Bowser's Castle ones.
Yeah?
I think that I don't know which one I would choose.
Surprised you didn't go for Cooper Beach, to be honest.
Yeah, I do like the beach ones. I like most of them, really. I really like Bowser's Castle. I think it's because it really reminds me of living with Scott and playing it like just before we go to bed, like in our old house. Like, yeah, just like laying on the sofa, kind of like just smashed.
Yeah. So play some Mario Kart, man.
Just before we have to go to bed and get up for work, let's play some Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And like Bowser levels just kind of stick in my brain from that era.
Yeah.
Probably the one where you've got like loads of like jumps. There's like two different
Bowser got free
routes. Yeah, it's one of the later ones. But yeah, not one specifically. I've just got a lot of nostalgia for each of them. But I know your favourite is
Rainbow Road. Yeah. You got a least favourite track?
That first one on Special Cup.
Oh, Donut Plains 3.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I was going to say Donut Plains 3. That level is.
I mean, I was actually doing okay at it tonight, and I was like, oh, I can. This is alright. This level isn't that bad. But then, like, you know, the first water bit, the bridge bit. If you go too fast, it punishes you for going too fast, because then you jump over that, and then you have to get around a corner.
Yeah.
But if you're going too fast for it, you go in the water at the other end.
Yeah.
So if you go too slow, you don't get over the bridge. But if you go too fast, you end it in the water at the other end. It's just like
it's hard.
There's just no kind of like fluidity to that level. You have to.
It's very stop start. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of just have to be such a perfectionist at every corner and every bridge, and it's just like.
I didn't have that problem only because I used the brake. So as soon as I came off that, because that corner's sharp as soon as you get off the bridge.
Yeah.
So I was just hit the brake and span the car around and then went off. So
yeah.
Which I found worked. But yeah, I'd probably say
it's satisfying if you can get it down though. Like if you get really good at it. Which I'm sure if we kept playing it over and over again, we'd be good at it.
I feel like I used to be good at this game. Like I feel like I was at that point, but maybe I never was. You know, like I said, I spent more time playing battle mode. But I would agree. I think Donut Plains 3 is by far the worst level. It's too hard. It's like Rainbow Road's hard, but there's a lot of straights.
Yeah.
Like, and even the only reason that level's hard is you can't see anything on it, basically.
Yeah.
You know, there's little jumps and stuff, but still fairly fair. Like, when you get hit by anything, you're gonna fly off the track. But if you know the track well, you can take those corners beautifully. Donut Plains 3 is just you can be lapped and out of that race if you go in the water once.
Yeah.
And as soon as you fall in the water, like you're not gonna hit first. It's possible, but that also depends on the luck of the items you get as well. So I would absolutely agree that I think
difficult to come in the top 4.
Like,
to like qualify for the next road.
Oh yeah,
race.
Road race. So let's finally come to it then. Like, do you think this game still holds up?
I think it's like does a lot more than like a lot of racing games of its era, or a lot of 90s racing games.
Holds up more than F-Zero, I think.
So I played like V Rally when I was a kid on the PS1.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I played that now, it would not hold up.
But that's also polygonal graphics, so it might look a bit.
And like you said, F-Zero, like I think this is a lot more replayable.
Yeah, that game's.
I think like one of the things I think holds up really well about this game is like I was saying about something I like. The things I like about it is the driving mechanics. Like
they're rewarding, aren't they?
How much skill goes into like sliding and like cornering and everything. I think that holds up really well, and I feel like I said earlier, like they've taken that away from a lot of the modern games.
Yeah. And
I feel like almost going back to this game is the one that takes the most skill to get really good at.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
it has some of the hardest tracks. In fact, the hardest tracks in any Mario Kart game are in this game. They're on the Special Cup.
Yeah. Yeah, Donut Plains.
So I think in terms of like, if you look at it like a kind of a spectrum of difficulty, like there is like some like really easy tracks, quite easy tracks, and then some really hard ones, and it's like they've managed to get quite a broad difficulty arc in there. So yeah, I think for the most part of this, I do think like it does. For me, it holds up because I mean, it doesn't hold up in terms of like how it looks or like some of the finer details. Like people are going to get frustrated when they play this game, but in terms of like, can you still play it today? I feel like I still get a lot of fun out of playing this game. I still feel like it's really enjoyable.
Yeah.
I could definitely like play it with like some friends and be like, yeah, this is good fun. But in other ways, obviously, it doesn't. Yeah. Like graphically, it's so dated.
I don't know. I quite like the graphics.
I like the graphical style, but some of the levels aren't as clear
Yeah,
as
sure,
like, you
absolutely,
want them to
yeah,
be. There are a lot of frustrating points about this game where you just be like, right, I just want to play a different game, a different Mario Kart game. But yeah, so in terms of technicality, doesn't hold up. In terms of can you still play it and have fun, I can, because I still enjoy it. I still enjoy coming back to this game. I was looking forward to playing it tonight.
Yeah.
Because I knew we would be for this video. So
it's definitely one of those games where you could have a group of friends and you could have like a drinking competition or something, and you either doing battle mode or one-on-one races or something. And I could see like you digging it out and being like, right, this is the rules for tonight. This is what you got to do, and you're playing Mario Kart and like get absolutely smashed while playing it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I forgot about the Game Boy Advance Mario Kart. It's one of the only other Mario Karts that actually handles like this one. Most of the other Mario Karts aren't the same. But I don't know if you've ever played Super Circuit, which is the Game Boy Advance one. Which
but I've heard it's really good.
Well, it has all new tracks and has every single SNES track in it as well.
Yeah.
It's also hard. Like I remember playing it, like it controls very much like this one. So it'd be interesting to go and play that actually at some point. As for do I think it holds up? I think the game only holds up if you're going to play 2-player. Don't even bother with the single player in this game.
I don't think I've even played this on my own before.
don't waste your time. I think the game is too cheap, and for that, I think the only reason I would ever come back to this game is if we dug it out for night. But for me, the battle mode still holds up to be the best battle mode. So for me, this is like a game of two halves. I'd be like, absolutely play it for the battle mode. Fuck everything else about this game. And that is really weird to say because the amount of hours I put in this with my brother. But again, that comes back to playing battle mode. Like,
you didn't enjoy playing multiplayer?
No, I mean I had fun playing it tonight, but there were times where the game was just frustrating me too much, and I was like, I know this game's frustrating, but I feel like I'm fighting the game, not fighting my own skill. There were times where it was literally, you get whacked once, and you're just like, I'm just playing catch up the entire race, and that's not fun. And I obviously understand, in later Mario Kart games they have the rubber banding, they have it so that you can catch up a bit. But even in this, like, I take Ghost Valley 1, I fell off the track twice. I got lapped. Like, it was partly, it wasn't even my fault the first time. The second time was me trying to do something. But it's just ridiculous in some ways. And I know that's because it's of its era, but
that's part of what I like about this game, though, because like the later games have the ultra friendly rubber banding, and like I just kind of enjoy having like a
very hardcore,
raw kind of like racing game where you have to be good.
Yeah.
And if you make a mistake, you get punished for it. Whereas if you make a mistake in the later games, it doesn't matter. Like you can blue shell, you'll go into last and you'll get all the best items, and you can just dick everyone over.
But I feel like that's kind of why F-Zero exists, because F-Zero is much harder than in Mario Kart, and especially the second and third games, the main console ones. Like Mario Kart, like I want it to be difficult, and that's kind of why you have 50, 100, 150cc. Like you do the lower ones to kind of learn the tracks. It's fairly easy, and the AI gets harder. But on this, like 100cc was just like felt really difficult. But it wasn't. I think the problem is it's a combination of too many problems. Like if you take away the AI items, that would sort out one of my problems. Or you put less obstacles on the track. You make it so when you do go off the track, you don't slow down as much. Or if you take one of the things I don't like away, I think the game instantly becomes fairer and more playable.
Yeah.
So I think it's because the AI can jump over bananas because they have their own items. The whole thing with the tracks where it's like you're fighting against the tracks sometimes. If you know that, and obviously with the controls being as tough as they are, this game is a frustrating thing, but I think the controls are still good, and I think once you learn them, you'll get better.
Yeah.
But this is definitely the steepest curve in a Mario Kart game, and I know it's because it's the first one in the series, but man.
But it has so many rewards.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that you unlock the Special Cup, but God, I wouldn't want to do that again. Like, that's a hard feat, because you have to do 150cc Star Cup to get Special Cup, I believe, to unlock it, so...
See, I really like some of the later Mario games, but I kind of feel like there's only so good I'll get at them, kind of like, whereas this I feel like it's the one that you can practice it so much, is the one that you can be the most consistent at, almost.
Yeah.
I don't know. Although saying that, I know the Mario Kart 64 levels inside out, and that definitely helps me with that game, because I can just...
I hate all the levels in that game.
I love that game, it's amazing.
There's some good levels there, but yeah, we'll get on to that another day. We should do that actually. But yeah, I think overall I would say play Super Mario Kart if you want to play battle mode and you want to play 2-player GP. time trial's fun if you want to learn the tracks, but I would absolutely stay away from the one-player GP. It's just this game just has those flaws that I would tell you what though. I would like to see a remake of this game with like Mario Kart 8 graphics, with the tweaks. Right, but just like a small budget title, or maybe even just a set DLC game.
You've got loads of the tracks on the.
Oh yeah, you
anyway.
have. But I think if you did or they do a DLC pack that's like for a Mario Kart game that's every single one of these tracks remade, or you take the ones that are already remade and you just do the ones that need to be left to do. Because I think like that when you take Donut Plains free and remake it in Mario Kart 8, that track is way more fun because okay, you've got the underwater mechanics there, so it doesn't matter if you go underwater. But the track itself.
Is it Mario Kart 8?
Yeah, we played it.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can go underwater now.
It's because it looks so different. You barely even recognise it. Yeah,
but
you go. Yeah,
you can go underwater and stuff, and I think like
we should play that later.
We should. And I think that track is like really, really well redone, and I think the same with Rainbow Road as well. But I just think Super Mario Kart is definitely one of those games I will dig out when people want to play it, but I am very unlikely to touch this game again. I just
really.
Yeah, unless people want to play battle mode or they want to play Super.
I used to love playing this. Like even like a couple of years ago, just be like, guys, we'd either play Street Fighter 2 or Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah, let's do it.
It's got charm. Don't get me wrong, it's got charm, but like.
But to be fair, when you've got Mario Kart 8, you know.
When you've got Double Dash.
Or 64, you know.
I have Mario Kart.
When 64. You've got 64, what else do you need, Levi?
I mean, I've got Double Dash, which is a way better game. You can take your 64 and shove it up your ass.
Oh, we should. We might not ever get to the end of that conversation.
Yeah. We'll put it this way: we'll definitely be doing Mario Kart 64 at some point. It's gonna happen. But I think that's everything. To be honest, I think
covers everything
we had a laugh, but you know, I'm quite happy to pack that game away for a while now, and
I still enjoy it. I still have a lot of fun playing this game.
There's definitely a theme,
even though it has its stressful elements. I do.
I feel like you're kind of like good cop and I'm bad cop because like Streets of Rage, I was like, don't play it.
Yeah,
Mario
but
Kart,
actually, I like after that video, I did feel like I was a bit too
generous.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like at the moment, the more older games we're playing and we're exploring, I'm going, God, this is shocking. And I'm really going like, ugh. And like multiplayer aspect to a lot of these games is great still, but single player wise, yeah, not so much. And that worries me.
You're meant to be a retro gamer.
I know. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. As always, it's nice to be doing one of these. We haven't done it in a little while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been fun.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be back on it more often. If you enjoyed this video, please just like, subscribe, or leave us a comment. Do you disagree with what I'm saying or what Mark's saying, or do you agree? Obviously, let us know. We want to hear your feedback. And thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next video.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.